Raw men. Raw woman. Alright, it's time and again, I guess, to make one of these videos. It's funny, throughout the month I think of all these things to talk about, and I can think of like really witty things, and then when I sit in front of the camera I kind of blank out. A lot of times I might use notes because just kind of, forget to do stuff, forget to talk about certain things. Otherwise, typically when I make these videos it might be like on a Friday night, and just to get kind of motivated, it might take a few alcoholic drinks, I guess, before I lose some inhibitions, I guess. But this time around it's a Sunday afternoon, and it's a little bit different, I guess. So, January, it's now, today is February 7th, so I really need to do a video for January, I guess. Some people have been asking me about this. Just really haven't been feeling very motivated. Actually, I've been kind of just focusing on doing other stuff instead. But, yeah, 2020 is the year that turned quite a significant portion of the world's population into a bunch of paranoid, neurotic germaphobes.
Quite an experience to live in fear, isn't it?
People often wish me health and all that kind of stuff. I will say, this is not a paid promotion or anything like that, but I got this off of iHerb. This is colloidal silver, 500 parts per million. I got this, I think I paid, I don't know, this is a smaller bottle, the equivalent of like 15 American dollars, I imagine. Colloidal silver is a nice way of knocking out viruses, and it's not like an antibiotic or anything. It's natural. It's silver, right? It doesn't taste that bad, really. It's just it's a little bit strong. Now this is the 500 parts per million, which is stronger. They have weaker ones, but I'm like, oh, I might as well just get the stronger one, right? It costs more, but you get more bang for the amount that you squirt in your mouth, right? So, yeah, I would recommend that. Since winter break, at least maybe 4 or 5 times, I felt like I was almost coming down with something. Oh, Pepe fell down here. It's my Pepe the frog here. It's my wife's, actually. She likes Pepe. Anyhow, yeah, there's been times where I felt like just starting to feel kind of a little bit like my head doesn't feel quite right. Squirt that under my mouth a few times. Maybe it might take a few times a day, but then I'm fine. So anyhow, let's talk about stuff and things. So first of all, oh yeah, something I want to mention actually before I get to the looking at my notes here. Over New Year's, I rented Blade Runner 2049. And it is a movie that I was never really interested in watching. I knew it wasn't going to be a bad movie. It's not going to, make me feel terrible, watching The Last Jedi, for example. But it is a sequel to my favorite movie that didn't need to happen. But I didn't... There are some aspects that I did like about it. I guess not really too much spoilers, but the movie revolves... The character, I forget his name even. He is a replicant who is a Blade Runner. And he knows he's a replicant, and he's kind of programmed that way to accept that, and his justification is that he is hunting down inferior models of replicants. The intro to the movie is actually the intro to the original 1982 movie. as what was originally proposed. It was Hampton Fancher and David Peoples, right? That's, if you look at the credits for their first movie. Hampton Fancher was the guy who I guess he kind of rage quit. He had a bunch of ideas and he just kind of quit, and then David Peoples took over. He took it closer to like the book, I guess. Do androids dream of electric sheep? The original proposed beginning of the first Blade Runner movie was Blade Runner going into a farmhouse and then shooting a guy and then looking in the guy's eye or whatever to see if he was a replicant or something or other. That was interesting to see that in this movie. The thing is that in my mind, according to me, Rick Deckard should not have been a character in the movie whatsoever. It didn't need to happen. The fact that they put in Rachel into the movie and looked like really just like it, that was really her. That was kind of cool, but I didn't want it to tie into the first movie. If they had asked my opinion, that they should have made the movie fit basically into the same timeline as the first movie. No cell phones. I want to see like noisy, glitchy CRT monitors, buzzing neon signs, and all that kind of stuff. The old retro tech vision of the future, but I guess that would not appeal to the normies, I guess. What I was hoping to be brought back in at least visually into the original movie. What we got in the 2049 movie is it kind of resembles it, but you don't see like the impossibly high skyscrapers and their Mobius inspired designs that you do see in like Akira or Bubblegum Crisis and such. They really didn't do that. So there were things that, like, one of the first things I knew about when they were making a new movie, I'm like, okay, they're going to have a car chase, there's going to be explosions, and what was the other one? Holograms. And that's what we got in the 2049. We got all of that in there. Whatever, I was willing to forgive it. I gave it a shot. So what I did like about it is the main character, and I thought it was really, really clever and almost like beautifully sad that his emotional cushion is this hologram girlfriend of his that can only exist inside his apartment. He has his apartment has like a hologram projector inside, and eventually he gets a way of like making it portable to take it outside. But this relationship with this artificial girlfriend, it was sad, but it was also like a really, really clever idea at the same time. Still couldn't recommend the movie though. I had to actually talk to a friend of mine and ask him questions. Like, couldn't quite totally understand the movie. Then again, I stayed up late to watch it, and yeah, just didn't totally feel like it was a good movie, but it wasn't a terribly bad movie. Just so. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so I want to talk about stuff that I see in modeling videos. This is my experience doing this for almost 10 years, I guess. No, it's been 10 years since man. Wow, yeah, I think the Honda Fit video, that was like January of 2011, I think. Been doing this for 10 years now. It's crazy. Advice for modeling videos. You gotta... I see people up, and I'm not, you know, being mean to anybody, but if you put up a video and it just says update 3 or something like that, dude, that says nothing. That does not say anything at all. If you want people to find your stuff, you got to be able to use more descriptive titles and use the meta tags. Okay. For example, there's one guy who he was doing like this really cool diorama of like some TIE fighters chasing an X-wing. I'm like, well, this is cool, but what are you building? I had to ask him, and he's like, oh, it's the Revell X-wing and TIE fighters, and he was from the UK, I think, and that's what he gets more easily where he lives. I would not have known that. I had to ask him what it was. My advice is the maker. If it's an X-wing, who made it? Revell, MPC, Fine Molds, Bandai. Say who it is. Say who the maker is. Scale, hopefully that would be nice. You know, 'cause sometimes if it's between a 48 Phantom versus a 72nd scale, it kind of helps to actually see that kind of stuff. So the maker, the scale, the subject, what you're actually building, put that in the title. And you know, it kind of helps to add like plastic model or scale model or something like that. It's funny, Rebels at Cloud9, he told me that what was it, one of those videos he did, I think it was a Mitchell or something like that, some guy got all pissed off because he clicked on the video and he was expecting like a video of the actual plane itself and not a model build. I would say put that in the title. I just say plamo, which is the Japanese slang for plastic model, whatever. Use the meta tags. This is what, when people search for different phrases, you know, like LED lighting or like, you know, masking or you know, what type of paints you're using, for example. Put that in there if it's really relevant. Now, is it a group build? If so, provide links. I've decided to go ahead and start this Clone a Toy group build. Hopefully I can get it done by the end of February. The Clone a Toy is like make a toy from whatever and then, you know, make a scale model version of it. So I'm going to do Bumblebee from the Transformers. Put links in your video description. I had to ask, who was it? Was it Munchkin Modeling Man? I'm like, well, what is this group build? I had to ask him what it was because it was very unclear what was going on. Yeah, provide links. Use the video description. What happens in the video? Talk about what you're doing. That kind of stuff. Video thumbnails, use those to your advantage. You know, if people could see, you know, if they're scrolling through your stuff, if they can actually see a picture of what's going on, that's like the fastest way to get people to draw attention to what you're doing. There's one guy, I think it was the same guy who was doing the X-Wing that I mentioned before. I think he stopped finally, but he had like just a picture of a chicken. And all of the thumbnails of all his videos, he had like this picture of this crazy chicken. And so if you're scrolling through all this stuff, you can't like, oh, look, there's the X-Wing and TIE Fighter diorama. You know, you don't see that. You have to like read through everything, you know, when you're scrolling through it. It's kind of, yeah. Make it so that people can find your stuff more easily. You know, give a sense of what's happening in the video. You know, nothing extravagant. So anyhow, I'm going to show you this right now. This is an example here. So when you're uploading something here, for example here, I just uploaded this video here, right? In a file name, you can't have any colons or slashes or anything like that, so you have to put that in. this YF-23 that you might see here. The dashes are, for some reason, they always just disappear. So here, this is a colon goes here. YF-23, this has to be a dash here. Okay? And always make sure here, your tags, these are the meta tags. This is what will, people search for certain things, they'll find your video more easily here. So here, this is my Dragon YF-23, right? So Dragon, I have it 1:72 and 1/72. You know, people use both ways. I use the former, but many people use the latter, doesn't matter. Ratio versus fraction, whatever. Scale model, plastic model, YF-23, Northrop Grumman, and I also have the in Japanese as well. So a Plamo, of course, is short for plastic model. I can maybe do a digital camouflage. Or maybe a digital camo scheme. I don't know, digital camouflage. The nice thing about YouTube is that you can put a whole bunch of different stuff in here. Oh, JASDF, I forgot that. And that's got to be in the title anyway, so I guess it doesn't totally matter. But there you go, right? So like if I pull up the other video here, like I can hit this button here, hit the copy button, alright? You can just paste it, just Control V, paste it right into here, okay? So the description here, well shoot, what happens in this video? Let me pull it up real quick here. Oh yeah, construction completed, right? And painting has begun. Okay. Construction has main construction has is completed, and the digital camo scheme has begun. Just to say what's in here, that's all. Upload the thumbnail. You know, I used my shortcut program to make a thumbnail. I mean, sometimes they might get a nice thumbnail automatically, but I just, here, let me just drop that in there, and there you go. So this is what they come up with, these three things here. Just choose the best one or come up with your own here. And once this is done uploading it, then I will let it process. Oh, it says processing will begin shortly, and then I'll just finalize it. So something you need to make sure of here. Alright, this video is set to not made for kids. Now that is very different from adult content here, okay? Age restriction. Alright, so this is it is not made for kids, okay? I'm not, there's no puppets, there's no crayons. This is more of an adult hobby, despite what people might say to make fun of us for being model nerds, right? Alright, so it is not made for kids, but no, don't restrict my video to viewers over 18 only, okay? Now, this is maybe if you're going to be, I don't know, I mean, if you're really going to like be dropping the F-bombs and stuff like that, or if you have any sort of like a nudity or anything like that, which you would have to be really careful about portraying in any of these videos though, you would want to do yes, maybe, okay? But these are two different concepts though. If it's made for kids, then people cannot comment on your video at all. You're not making it for kids. Alright, the kids are like, oh, look at me. No, it's not like that, okay? It's just me airbrushing and crap. It's not really made for kids. I'm not focusing the target on this. This is video on kids, and my viewership demographics definitely is like, you know, people in their 20s and up. So these are two different concepts. Make sure to understand the difference. No, it's not made for kids. No, don't restrict my videos. Okay, I've restricted a few videos. My resin kit of Nadia, for example, but that's not something I want to do very often, anyway. So paid promotion, I'm not like, doctors say that the collagen is really good for your skin and blah blah blah. No, nobody's paying me to endorse their stuff. Even if I do a build for HD Model Works, it's not a paid promotion. He doesn't pay me to do it. I'll just promote him anyways. And then there you have it. Category, wherever you want. I used to have it in how to, but I do it in entertainment. And then finished processing. Next. Now let me look at the details. Yeah, I like my thumbnail here. And then next. And then I'm going to public. And then publish. And I don't post videos on Tumblr. I just post pictures on Tumblr. I no longer have Twitter anymore, so I'm just going to close this. Oh, you can do it on Reddit. Haha. I got some Korean thing. Hey, cool Russian crap. Look at that. Blogger, Tumblr, yeah. LinkedIn. Why would you? Oh, whatever. Pinterest. Yeah. I have a Pinterest account, but no thanks. Alright, there you go. Alright, so in January, gosh, I was just fascinated with watching the United States getting overtaken by the Chinese Communist Party. Well, I'll get to that kind of stuff later in this video. In January, my Twitter account got permanently suspended. It's probably because I am literally Hitler, as you might know already.
Many have said I do things that are not correct to do.
So I was accused of platform manipulation and spam. Okay. Apparently a bunch of other people, liberty-minded, patriotic type people, they all had the same excuse given to them. I really didn't even really post a whole lot on Twitter. I think I don't know how many followers I had. Most of them were probably just courtesy follow backs. Really didn't get a whole lot of engagement at all. I can't remember, but I think I had like maybe 300 or whatever. But mostly the stuff I posted was just when I uploaded a video. I would post a link to my Twitter account. Sometimes I would post like direct modeling stuff. I had Dorobo Hige followed me, and the president of Plum followed me as well. I didn't really post a whole lot on there, but when they were just patting themselves on the back about the whole censorship thing, I posted some snarky stuff, kind of shit posting, I guess, and that's what got me permanently banned without warning. Now, I had been suspended a couple times before for criticizing the religion of peace, and they didn't like that. But they made me. All I had to do was delete those tweets, and then I was able to get my account back. That happened twice before. So, Twitter, don't really miss it. Stupid. I'll go into more detail about that kind of stuff later in the video, but yeah, Gab has really exploded, and I have found a couple of skill model groups on there. It's cool because it works like Twitter, but they also have groups, kind of like, I guess Facebook does groups, and you can make groups in Facebook. I don't use Facebook, but that's kind of the sense I get. So they would have like topical Twitter feed kind of things on Gab. Not a whole lot, but I have been involved in a Linux group on Gab for a while now, and that's really great. It's been about like a year now I've been on there. So yeah, Gab is pretty cool. And with all of this, people getting their accounts zorched for no good reason, because, you know, we're literally Hitler and all that kind of stuff. I still think that they need to have like a urine test. You know, you pee on the stick and if a little swastika appears in the window, that means you test positive for Nazism. Of course, you know, if you're the type of person who's opposed to invading countries, starting wars, that makes you a Nazi, especially if you want people to be treated equally and just you know, regardless of your background. If you are a productive member of society, then welcome to the club. That's exactly what the Nazis were all about. I don't even know what's going to happen to YouTube. I will continue to upload videos to this platform. I have created a mirror on Odyssey, and Odyssey is nice, but most of the time I try watching videos on there and it just does not it buffers constantly. They really need to work harder on keeping their platform up to date. And this is what really sucks. I mean, if I'm glad that conservatives have started to begin to realize that corporate America is their enemy. People have really woken up. You know, they're not just blind capitalists. You know, people will realize that there's more nuances. But when they start, all these, you know, the Silicon Valley tech giants like Google, like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and such, when they really focus on censorship, and there's this whole thing about Section 230, they become publishers and not just a platform, right? And basically, if you haven't been following it, for example, you have your phone, your telephone service, and you criticize the government, or like, you know, maybe your local library doesn't have the book that you like, and so you're talking to your friend about, you know, this library sucks or whatever. Maybe we can you know, light off a stink bomb in the library or something or other. The phone service is not held reliable or accountable for what you plan on doing by using their service, right? You as an individual are responsible for that kind of stuff, because through that Section 230 they are not, you know, hey, you know, if somebody uploads the new movie on YouTube, YouTube is not at fault, right? Because they're not into, you know, they're not supposed to, you know, work on copyright laws like really strictly. If something like that happens, of course they can delete it, but they are not at fault because somebody as an individual did that. But when they start like curating stuff and like proactively like blocking some stuff but not other stuff, then that's when they get into trouble with the Section 230 provisions. If I call Joe Biden a pedophile, I get zorched. And even on YouTube, if I type in Joe Biden as a pedophile, those like just magically disappear. Those comments, it's crazy. But yet Twitter, like for example, they've had, this is recent. If you haven't heard about this is crazy. Some boy had been trafficked, and they had either, I don't know if it was like photos of him being violated or maybe a video, but it had been like retweeted thousands of times and liked thousands of times, and the boy's parents have had to sue Twitter because of it was never taken down. I don't know exactly the whole story behind this, but yeah, they're having to sue Twitter because of that. So you can upload pornography It's very easy to find on Twitter. If you don't believe me, put in some keywords, you're gonna find some stuff. Stuff that's been up for years, even though that violates their policies. Goodbye. But I had my account permanently suspended. Why? I don't know. Oh, actually, I do know. It's mostly just because they're a bunch of jerks. But it sucks because what happens is like their attitude is like, if you don't like it, you build your own platform. And then that's what they did. I guess I didn't join Parler or whatever. It seemed like it's kind of like for normies. Didn't bother with it. And then Amazon, I guess they own the servers and they shut them down. It's like, yeah, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. Build your own platform. And when they do build their own platform, then they get zorched regardless. It's crazy. I don't want things to like go in different. There definitely does need to be more variety and stuff. And I guess like MeWe is something else, or Minds and these other social media platforms. But when you start polarizing people based on their political philosophies and such, this is why, as a platform, why do that, right? It's like you need to be able to, like, have more of a dialogue between people, but they don't want a dialogue. They just want censorship, I guess. It's really sad. So will YouTube get in big trouble perhaps someday? There was the whole Elsa Gate stuff. I mean, like, I have seen, like, going back to Twitter, I have seen what seems to be like, some people are trafficking kids and such. It's like really creepy stuff, and I've sent that to some people. Like, dude, check this out, this is weird. People on Gab have been, reporting channels, and they're like, hey, if you're on YouTube, or if you're on Twitter, report this account, and Twitter just ignores that kind of stuff. Really suspicious stuff. Not like, it's kind of like Elsa Gate. It's like, like a picture of a girl doing weird stuff, like a video of her, and then like all these thank you comments underneath that. Thank you to so-and-so, thank you to so-and-so's. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but it was just really fishy, really, really weird. And toilet flush, sorry. If YouTube goes goodbye, I mean, at least my crap is on Odyssey, I guess. I don't know. I don't want these platforms to die, even if Facebook, I kind of want Facebook to die, but at the same time, I mean, people do connect on there, and it is kind of useful, but I just hope that platforms that have been built to concentrate on freedom of speech, those are labeled as, right-wing or whatever, which is funny because, we're like, well, these are far-right extremists, and they just say that all the time, and it's stupid. I just don't like the whole, you go this way, I go that way, and we don't see each other, that kind of stuff. It's stupid and it's pointless. It's just all this division is dumb. So, I guess I'm done ranting about that. Let me show you stuff that I've been working on here. Let me pull this around here. Okay, people have asked about the Phantoms. Which one's this? Oh, this is, okay, yeah, this is like the F-4EJ Kai. I have accidentally busted off the little pitot tube on the back vertical stabilizer here. So I'm working on replacing them with some wave C-line, right? Little copper pipes there, or not pipes, but just the sticks, 0.3 millimeters. I have been really going to town with the YF-23, and I just uploaded a video of that earlier today. This is really cool. I'm really enjoying this. It's like really, it's meticulous but not tedious, and I'm having a lot of fun coming up with my own camouflage here. As I mentioned, there was the whole build your own, or a clone a toy or whatever. I have this going on. Nice finish on this. This is going to be Bumblebee from the Transformers, and I have a little Autobot decal that's going to go right there. It's going to be nice. I haven't really done a whole lot of modeling. Like I said, I've been really kind of glued to the whole, you know, watching the drama unfold. But what else? What else? The Y-Wing, I need to prime it. I don't really have anything more to show on that I haven't already shown you in the first video, I don't think. What else? What else? I am also kind of getting back a little bit to the SU-34 flanker build. And I found a website that had like how to make all sorts of corrections. Like, for example, this tail boom is too long. Well, it's kind of too late for that now. I'm not going to try to shorten that at all. So they had you like cut off like a little bit here on the back. I'm not going to do that. They had this other like a sensor kind of a thing right here. But at the same time, I have seen some SU-34 pictures without that little pod there on the bottom. So I'm going to forego that. One thing I do want to do, though, is build a ladder for the landing gear, because there's a landing gear. There's a ladder that's attached to the front landing gear, and I want to definitely try to replicate that as well. But yeah, this is you haven't seen this yet. I've had some video I've been sitting on for a while. It's only like maybe 20 minutes or so. It's not like a just full-length video yet, so I haven't uploaded it yet. But I'm doing that kind of stuff. I've got this pile of P-40 Warhawks. I haven't touched these in such a long time. They're just sitting here. You know, like the propeller on a couple of these have broken off a couple times. It kind of sucks. But yeah, I do need to finish these. I have like a clear coat on them. I've done the panel lines. I just need to do a flat coat and, you know, do more chalk and weathering and such. But I need to get back to this. The Nissan Cube, I have this masked off here. I'm going to be painting this flat black here, right? And then I'll work on the body color as well. After that, I'll have to just like kind of mask this off and such. So yeah, things are coming along. But like I said, January, just been watching so much news, but got kind of tired of that. And yeah, okay, so I did get one model purchase, so I'll just go ahead and show you that now.
I feel plastic. Hey, hey, hey.
Now, I had ordered this back in October, I believe. It was supposed to come out in December, and it has been delayed. Finally, now getting it at the end of January. This is a 48 scale MiG-29 AS Fulcrum, Slovak Air Force. There was, I think, was it Great Wall? I think it was Great Wall. And they had like a tiger or something rather on the vertical stable, or the horizontal, vertical stabilizer. But it was like super expensive. And it was 48 scale, and I was thinking about maybe getting it. I think it's like close to 8,000 yen here in Japan. And I'm like, you know, it would be cool to get it, but, you know, maybe I'm not going to get it. And I had seen this in an old model graphics magazine, and I'm like, well, crap, they're not making this anymore. But they've re-released this, and that is super cool. That is super cool. Now, yeah, this is 48 scale. The basic shape of the Fulcrum is very much like an F-15 Eagle, but it's considerably smaller, so having this in 48 scale, I guess it's not gonna be, you know, taking up too much space on my shelf once I get around to completing it. I just need to complete more models, right? Well, anyhow, this is gonna come with the digital camouflage decals, and I super duper like digital camouflage. It's got the Russian ordnance, of course. Gosh, this is so cool. Alright, let's open this up. Let's see what else we got up here. Alright, I'm going to change the battery on my camera here. Alright, I'm back. Now, so for that Great Wall one, like the whole engine inside is like totally detailed. You can have this, like, you know, with the engines taken out and everything, it's super detailed. That's probably why it's so expensive. This was like under 3,000 yen. And I'm not like totally keen on like all that engine detail inside. I mean, it's cool, but... Oh, check with parts list before unsealing. Replace and return not guaranteed when plastic is unsealed. Oh, well, that's interesting to know. Thanks, guys. Alright. Neat. Whoa. This is the seat here? Okay. Okay, whatever, huh? Yeah, zoom out a little bit. Engine cans. Oh, so the top, the vents, you can have it open or closed, and that is super cool. Now, actually, the old Fujimi Fulcrum kit has that, actually, and I noticed that. I saw the 72nd scale Fujimi kit at the book off, but yeah, I decided I wasn't going to get it. But I did think that was cool that they had optional, you know, open or closed vents. Now the Hasegawa 72nd scale, like the vents, it just kind of opens up into nothing. It's kind of weird looking. But yeah. Okay, so all right. Oh, that's really nice detailing on the the canopy here. So that's super cool. Oh, and here you are. There it is. I would think that they would have more, like, don't step and kind of, unless there's 2 sheets of decals in here. No, that's it. It's kind of a... Huh. Maybe they didn't have all the proper reference or something. That's maybe the only disappointment, I guess. Okay. I got the sniffles today. Oh my gosh. Alright, so it has GSI Creos paints in aqueous, acrylic, or Mr. Color lacquer. Life color. I don't know what that is. Humbrol. And then testers, model, master, enamel, and acrylic, which of course, unfortunately, they've dumped Model Master, unless, I don't know, the narrative keeps changing or something, I don't know. Light Ghost Gray, Gunship Gray, I think I already have these. Metallic gray, that's easy. Dark green, 70. Maybe I don't have that one. Dark gold green. I think I already have most of these. So, derp, derp, derp. Yeah, this is just a regular model. It's not like super detailed like that other one, of course, where you have to, you know, build the engines. Or, I mean, you could just not really paint them up or whatever. But if you really, really love that kind of stuff, then that would be the one to get. But this is pretty much straightforward. So yeah, it's pretty affordable. 48 scale Fulcrum. Here are the paint and the decal placement and such. And this is a really super neat kit. This could be a little bit more detailed, but I guess I'm not going to complain. Oh, printed in Italy by Cartograph. Wow, now, well, that's definitely can't complain about that. All right, Cartograph is like the really, really good quality. I mean, it's not always, but from what I understand, but it should be on average, it's pretty decent quality. So. And of course I can't get this to fit as well as it came. So yeah, that is my one model kit purchase for the month. And actually I had bought this back in October and it finally shipped. So yeah, neat stuff. Candy, 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 I can't let you go. Alright, so I got this off of Yahoo Auctions Japan. Star Wars Collection number 7. This is by F-Toys. Now, this has the small 350 scale AT-ATs. Now, I have the F-Toys 1/144 scale. I'm sorry. No. It's not 350. No, what scale is this? Oh, not 144. I'm sorry about that. I forget what scale this is. Cannot remember. Anyhow, so here we go. This is the collection here. Comes with the shuttle Tidarium, and I have this 350 scale. It has a 144 scale B-wing, and it has the question mark. It's the secret. Now this is cool. 350 scale sandcrawler. That's nice. Anyhow, the secret one is the Red Jammer Y-Wing. Now, the Red Jammer was a model built for Return of the Jedi. Apparently Red Squadron Y-Wing. And it was never actually used in the movie. Now, interestingly enough, as you can see here, it has the port nacelle. It has like this tannish cream yellow color and this other stripe here, right? Red stripe along this nacelle. There's nothing on this nacelle here. Now it has the red, the V trim, and it's got this beige colored cockpit canopy, and it's got like some sporty paint coming off here. The bottom here is red. Now it's kind of interesting though, because this is pretty weathered and dirty and this is not. I don't know why, but anyhow, yeah, so this is really super cool. I bid on this and like 10 other people were watching this auction. Nobody bid on it. So I lucked out and I didn't have to put up a fight. In case you're wondering, this is the Bandai Y-Wing, and this is 144 scale. So yeah, there's your difference in sizes. It's pretty close, but yeah, just a little bit longer, as you can see here. The head part here is pretty close, just slightly bigger on this one here. And if you put the Fine Molds Y-Wing 72nd scale next to the Bandai Y-Wing in the same scale, they're going to be different sizes, the way they interpreted the dimensions or whatever. So go figure. But anyhow, this is pretty cool. Add to my collection here. Alright, it kind of sucks because I have to do this video all over again. I recorded an unboxing of this neat little mini kit when I first got it a few weeks ago, and I can't find the file, so I'm having to redo this all over again. At the candy store, well, the candy section of the supermarket, I should say, found these, and I have subsequently seen these. I think I saw it at 7-Eleven. By Bandai, of course. This is called Gundam Artifact, and it's a plastic mini kit. Came with a little piece of bubblegum. I already chewed the bubblegum, so you don't get to see the bubblegum. That's just too bad. So, it is actually not a blind box, which is kind of cool, because it even says right here. So this is number 2 in the series. This is EXS Gundam. So S Gundam, this is a Gundam Sentinel, like I'm currently, haven't touched it in about a month or so, or more. Actually, no, actually recently I painted the face on this guy. I painted the face white, the Gundam white. Anyhow, this is a completely unpainted kit. It is a snap kit, as you can see. But it is like this beige color. I'm not sure what color this is. Kind of like a tan beige color, I guess. But yeah, it's a little mini kit. I don't know what the scale is. Does it see what the scale is? I do not see a scale. Regardless, though, it's just a little small kit, and I think it's pretty cool. And I had to do this video all over again. Oh well. So, yeah, neat crap. I don't know if are those little spiky things supposed to be there? I don't know if I'm supposed to take those off. No, I guess they belong there. Okay, never mind. It's kind of weird. Anyhow, yeah, this is just pretty straightforward. Pretty neat stuff. So, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of articulation with it, but yeah, you definitely can just build it as is, or give a shot at painting it. Because of its size, I'm sure I'd probably end up having to hand paint a lot of this, but I guess I don't mind that. But anyhow, neat. Okay, so this is a collaboration between Evangelion, or sorry, a collaboration between Bikuriman, the chocolate wafer, and Kyoto. This is a figure, so it's a little bit more expensive. So Bikuriman, well, this is Evangelion. Like, for example, this is the Dragon Quest one. Alright, and I am going to be uploading another snacks video fairly soon. Basically, these are like an inside-out Kit Kat. That's basically what they are. So yeah, this is for Dragon Quest. So you are going to see a video of the one from Evangelion. And I've been slowly... or maybe you already did. I can't remember if I had that for the summer one or not. But let's open this up here. Yeah, it comes with a Kyoto figure. And I hope I get one of the girls. That would be cool. But yeah, it comes with the snack with the inside out Kit Kat, and it has a sticker in there. All right, I hope I get one of the girls. All right, so here is that's what it looks like. Special edition. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Has a sticker in there, and then oh my gosh, I got the Evangelion instead. Well, let's go go ahead and build this up, I guess. Alright, here's a stand. And an arm. So, it's got a sword. What the? It's like an Evangelion, like a samurai, but it's got like a kabuto. Like a what are they called? A rhinoceros beetle? A kabuto mushi? Okay. I'll put this in here. Alright. And I was hoping I was going to get like Ray or Asuka or something, but... Oh well, so yeah, this went for like about 500 yen or something rather. And there you go, there's the Evangelion Samurai Insect. Go figure. Man, oops. Oh, they got it's like one's bigger than the other. And his arms fell off. Gosh darn it. His damn head fell off. Bill Shatner. There we go. Stick this back on. Oh my gosh. Where the hell did it go? Alright. Well, there you have him. Weird? Yes. Cool? I don't know. Dang it, why couldn't I have gotten Asuka? Or Ray? They don't have Martia, though. She's my favorite because she has glasses. Alright, let's open this up. Nom nom nom. It's probably better opening it this way. Alright, well, I got something to snack on now. And then here is the sticker. And, oh, look. That's it right there. Eva Christo Shogoki. Whatever. It's just whatever. I'm not much of an Evangelion fan. I like the girl characters, I guess, but that's pretty much it. Anyhow, I'm gonna start snacking here. Chocolate. So here's some more Gundam love here. It's February, and you know what that means. Valentine's Day. And you know what that means. Well, there's that, yeah, of course, but also chocolate. Dirty minds, I swear. I think of chocolate. What else do you think of? I don't know. Mobile Suit Gundam chocolate for Valentine's Day, dudes. Dudes. Let's open this up. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Dudes. It's like a pyramid of chocolate. It's like dark chocolate and milk chocolate. Oh, that's cool. It's got like gold flecks in here. Dude. So here's the Char's shield. Like colored white chocolate. And then here is the, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, here we go. White chocolate. Chocolate. I don't know what these pyramid things are all about, but okay. But wait, there's more. So actually, I just got like 2 of them. These things are like 1,000 yen each, so they had other ones that are even bigger, but you know, I'm not going to spend all that much money on chocolate, I guess. But anyhow, here's the Char one. Oh my gosh. So what do we got here? Oh my gosh. There's Char, and Char. But of course, this is the Char from how he looked like in Zeta Gundam, I guess. And hello, candies here as well. That's cool. I don't know why this one's glossier than the other ones. But there you have it. That was really cool. And delicious. Here's a stupid comment. Okay, this is by Kitchen Recipes by Shipra Saxena. Hi, dear friend.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
So I replied, "Oh, hello there, dear friend I've never met before. It's been a long time, especially since we've never met before. Say, I don't suppose you would know any good kitchen recipes, would you?" Now, here are some messages that made me happy. Philip J. Fry. Why does that name sound familiar? I don't know. And a Celebrity Jeopardy quote to add on with it. Man, you get cooler the longer I watch you. That was in response to the rough. Oh, that's the way your mom likes it, Trebek, right? And unfortunately, actually, Alex Trebek and Sean Connery kind of died like rather recently, within just like a short span of time between the two of them. Lunaya Fontana said, "The spouse unit? Haha, you, my good sir, are a dork." Yeah. That's great. This is like Knight Rider Part 1. This is like, man, I uploaded that when I was still living in America. Okay, now it's time for me to drone on and on about news that caught my interest in January. And if you don't like it, well, you know what to do. Alright, first things first, David Hasselhoff is auctioning off his Knight Rider car. Oh, don't do it, David Hasselhoff. Oh my gosh. The AI-enhanced Knight Industries 2000 car, aka Kit, from his 1980s TV show Knight Rider for an estimated $300,000. Oh my gosh, I wonder if he's getting low on beer money or something. That's just not something I could ever sell off like that. That is insane. Why would he do that? I don't know. Hopefully he's not falling on hard times, but, you know, whatever. Okay, actually this was in December. I kind of missed this. The WHO finally admits PCR tests create false positives. Oh my gosh. Again, this is what you know, people in the truther movement have been derided as conspiracy theorists and such for not believing what the WHO is telling us. The stats that they're giving us, it's a bunch of crap, and we've been saying it all along. And it says right here, so we must ask, why are they reporting it now? Is it to make it appear the vaccine works? Well, that is a good question. I really don't know. But this is interesting, though. This is on RT. Lockdown ineffective against the spread of COVID-19 may even increase risk to vulnerable populations, research claims. Yeah. And this is stuff I have been covering on my channel since this whole thing started. And I've had people getting all pissed off at me. But look at what's turning out in the news. I mean, come on, guys. You know, you don't get upset with me over this stuff. I'm trying to help you guys. Alright, now this is weird. January 12th, CIA releases UFO Black Vault documents early. How to see them online. Oh my gosh, UFOs. And this is not, I mean, I really don't pay much attention to UFO stuff. I mean, I do kind of follow Jordan Sather, and he's been expelled from YouTube, and you know, he's on BitChute, and I think Rumble as well. But yeah, he reports on a lot of UFO stuff. I'm open, you know, I'm not closed-minded against that, but you know, who knows? I couldn't tell you. Something else that was really crazy. The FBI records So once again, the FBI quietly released a dump of data files. Now, I've talked about this before, right? I talked about how they had quietly released their data on Hitler not dying in World War II, but actually he was he had escaped to, or well, he was escorted, I would say, to South America. There was the data dump on the Finders cult, so that creepy weird cult that was taking kids and trafficking them to Washington D.C. and such. Yeah, and that whole nursery care, what was it called? That was the McMartin preschool. That was a big deal. But they just quietly just released that kind of stuff. Now here, yeah, Nikolai Tesla. So I didn't really go too far into this. The first thing that I noticed, though, just digging in, just like to the first part of it, is it was talk of an invention called a teleforce, which would create an energy barrier around a coastline that would melt the engines of any invading airplanes 250 miles out. And it says it uses principles of physics no one has ever dreamed of. That is pretty intense. As I mentioned towards the beginning of this whole video here, I was kicked off of Twitter. This is the email I got. It says that your account, SteveTheFish76, has been suspended for violating the Twitter rules. Oh, really? Specifically for violating our rules against platform manipulation and spam. Alright, now let me just show you what happened here. So, I have been suspended from Twitter. And you might be saying, well, gee, Steve, I mean, Greg, how did you manage to get suspended from Twitter? Were you trafficking kids? No, I wasn't, but actually you can get away with that on Twitter just fine. Well, were you uploading pornography? Actually, no, but there's plenty of pornography that's been around on Twitter for years now, and yeah, it's there, and it hasn't been touched. Well, gee, were you making death threats or something? Well, no, I wasn't. So, what got me suspended? Well, let me show you here. So I'm going to log in real quick. So this is what happened. So, I can see myself here. Now, it says notifications. This little thing comes up, and it says, an update on the account you reported is available. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting us know. Our investigation found this account violated the Twitter rules. We appreciate your help in improving everyone's experience on Twitter. So I don't remember reporting myself. I probably would have remembered that. I did not report myself. You can learn more about reporting abusive behavior here. Well, really, was I really abusive? Well, let's just see. Let's just see. Alright, so I'm going to do tweets and replies so you can see everything. Actually, I was calling out violence. And that's what got me in trouble, I guess. Alright, so... There we go. Alright, so this is like the night of the 8th or so. The January 9th, I guess. So I really didn't really... I mean, okay, so if I go down here... Alright, that's like the model art thing that I had done here. Talking about... what is this? Whatever. There we go. Branded Straka. Mostly I was just doing like model build stuff, and didn't really have, I had like, I don't remember how many, like 260 followers, and I think most of them were just courtesy follow backs. I didn't really get a whole lot of followers or engagement or anything, but no, this person still has his or her channel just fine. So all I did is retweet this. The shooter in the suit, cops give him a thumbs up. Blue sweatshirt casually gets out the phone. So this guy here, this is the one of the so-called Trump supporters had stormed the building, and they were politely, very, very politely walking within the velvet ropes and everything. So here's the thumbs up here. And this is just so weird. Why did this guy just reach around? He just shoots a woman. She's unarmed. I mean, I don't get it. The whole thing was just weird. And then this guy's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just going to film this. And by the way, I saw an interview with this guy, and what he claimed, what his involvement was, it was totally different than what was actually captured. Alright, so next, here's this guy. This is the senior commander of the U.S. Space Command. He says, get your popcorn ready. First movie on my 2021 learning list. He's talking about Midway. And I had just got this, and I just said, oh, I just bought this movie on Blu-ray. I live in Japan, and I've been waiting for it to be released here for too long, so I bought it. Oops, I misspelled bought. There's no edit feature on Twitter, which sucks. Definitely going to watch it this weekend. Oh my gosh, and this is what I did here. This is what got me in trouble. I used the hashtag where we go on, we go all worldwide. So I understand why this Space Command guy was recommending the movie Midway, because the movie Midway, it shows how this is not the old Charlton Heston movie. He's talking about the new one that came out with Woody Harrelson. It shows how the code breakers are a bunch of eccentric guys, and they were able to crack codes. So I think with this guy here, and especially when he talks about popcorn, he is making a reference to the so-called autistic army, the digital soldiers on 8kun and 4chan and such. I retweeted this, Twitter, right? This person has their account still active, right? You still see it. I retweeted Twitter shareholders prefer pedophile content over free speech. This guy here, because this is when everybody started to change their Twitter profile to Trump's face after he got banned. This is a guy, he's writing here. I think it says here, if I remember right. Yeah, hold on a second. Okay, here's it says Persian detected here. So maybe this guy's from Iran. It says the great lion Trump is a patriotic and historic man. And I said Trump's gonna win. And so apparently I'm a big jerk for saying that. And I see that this guy here, he favorited my comment here. Alright, now this here is some stupid crap here. Alright, so they had somebody brought a news platform here as a way of protest here. So it's basically just saying, like, Getty Images here, Capitol protesters in Washington D.C. brought a news, and this shitlib was like saying about how, oh, these MFers get so offended when we compare them to the KKK, and what I said was, they're talking about hanging the traitors. They're not like literally there to hang people, right? So the idiot, he responded, oh, we all know what nooses were used for. I said, treason in the U.S. history has been traditionally punished by either hanging or a firing squad. And I provided a Wikipedia article there to treason. I know you must be euphoric with all the censorship occurring, but maybe put down the corporate media and brush up on history. Oh, what a jerk. What a jerk. Now, this is a tweet by Virginia Giuffre. She was sex trafficked as a child to Jeffrey Epstein. And I said, how long before Twitter silences victims of Epstein? Now this is Sarah Ruth Ashcraft. As a child, she was sex trafficked to good old Tom Hanks. And I wrote to her, how long before Twitter starts banning victims of child sex trafficking? In response to Twitter safety here, talking about, oh, the context of the horrific events this week. Yeah, somebody broke a window, and I wasn't even a Trump supporter. And then some Trump supporters got killed, and some police officer with a health condition, that they lied and claimed that he was killed by a fire extinguisher by a Trump supporter, which is fake news. I said, hooray for censorship and book burning. So liberal. Maybe we should load them up on these deplorable Trump supporters onto boxcars, send them to re-education camps where they can concentrate on betterment. We could call them concentration camps. Because that's exactly what they're talking about. Re-education camps. Oh, here we go. Sam Gali, MD. Hi, emergency room doctor here. Twitter needs to add a medical misinformation flag for reporting dangerous tweets. Retweet if you agree. I said, how about we just let people decide for themselves? Oh my gosh, that's just what Hitler would say. And this is in response to Twitter. Typical shitlibs here. This crazy bald woman said, there needs to be unrest in the streets. Here's the new vice president. Protesters should not let up. There's a Moonbat Maxine. If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and create a crowd. And you push back on them and you tell them that they're not welcome anywhere. And here's here's Nancy Lugosi. I just don't know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be. So it's okay if they incite violence, but if Trump specifically says do not be violent, then that is somehow promoting violence. There you go. So this woman, Barbara Moore, can't wait for Inauguration Day. We will finally be able to proudly fly our flag. And I said, you all seem to enjoy burning flags more, and somebody favorited that. So that's it. Apparently that one evening, with just a few tweets, they had decided to get rid of me. So yeah, my account is suspended, and that's it. I am basically suspended for life. So right after I got booted from Twitter, I saw this article on the Gateway Pundit. Twitter banned 70,000 people sharing QAnon content following Capitol protest, even if they weren't there and had nothing to do with the violence. Okay, so it says, Twitter said in a statement that the mass censorship is to, quote, protect the conversation on our service from attempts to incite violence, organize attacks, and share deliberately misleading information about the election outcome. We've been clear that we will take strong enforcement action on behavior that has the potential to lead to offline harm. Oh really? Oh really? What about like the threats to rape Melania or Barron Trump, or you know all that, killing him and all that kind of stuff? No, that is perfectly fine. Given the violent events in Washington, D.C., again, like, a window got broken. A woman who was doing really nothing except for jumping on a door got shot, which is weird. And a guy, a police officer who was actually a Trump supporter, he died of like a heart failure or something or other, and his family's even saying that he was not hit in the head with a fire extinguisher, and it's a bunch of fake crap. The family saying stop politicizing our his death. We began permanently suspending thousands of accounts that were primarily dedicated to sharing QAnon content on Friday afternoon. Well, that does not, I don't really count as that, but I have tweeted some Q stuff, but yeah, maybe that's what did it. Or I think probably what happened was that snarky comment to, basically I was shit posting them. Oh well, we need to send those nasty Drumpf supporters to gulags. It's perfectly fine for the blue checkmark brigade to say stuff like that, but me, oh no, heck no, yeah, not allowed to do that. So yeah, it's called sarcasm, but they got rid of me for it. Paleontologists discovered a perfectly preserved dinosaur butthole. I believe this was on January 20th even. And speaking of dinosaur buttholes, on that same day, Joe Biden was inaugurated as POTUS. Oh my gosh. The most popular president ever, with the most number of votes completely. Even though statisticians have said that his win was completely mathematically impossible. But people who complain about how filthy rich old white men are destroying the country, they voted for Joe Biden. Moonbats kept saying, "We're losing our democracy," when things didn't go well for them every time, whenever they lost elections. But after they artificially elected the most corrupt politician with the least amount of charisma, oh, they're fine with that. Oh, Trump's a threat to the Constitution. So, okay, when you say Constitution, are we talking about the same Constitution written by heterosexual white men, also known as dun dun dun, the patriarchy? Because I remember your side wanting to get rid of the Constitution because some of them, the founding fathers, they owned slaves. Le gasp. And now they're proud to have a VP, vice president, whose family were actual slave owners. A woman who was infamous for locking black men up unfairly past their due time and treating them essentially as slaves. But that's okay. That's okay. They hate Trump because he actually kept his promises and delivered on his campaign. But they voted for Mr. Sniffy. And they just love immigrants. Just welcome them with open arms. Well, except for this one. How many times did they totally made fun of Melania for her accent? I mean, she speaks like 5 or 6 languages more or less fluently, and she's an immigrant, and these people who just love immigrants and such, they shit all over the woman, and they never invited her on talk shows, and they didn't fawn over her like they did that frickin' tranny Big Mike. No, not at all. Joe Biden, the same man who said you can't legislate through executive orders unless you're a dictator, and as soon as he becomes president, he starts signing like butt-hundred executive orders, and within a day, he completely zorched 75,000 jobs, and I think that was in the United States alone, which also totally destroyed I don't know how many jobs in Canada. Oh my gosh. And of course the whole thing about the ruining girls' athletic scholarships by permitting guys claiming to be girls to compete in girls' sports. So yeah, the girls who are depending on athletic scholarships to get into college or whatever, screw them, I guess, because they got freaking Pat. He wants to play basketball with all the other girls, and of course he's gonna just pummel them because he's got the muscle mass and all that. Oh my gosh, crazy. So okay, now check out this article on Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, this was on January 19th. This was the day before the inauguration. A routine court hearing on the unsealing of documents in a civil case against Ghislaine Maxwell was overwhelmed Tuesday by more than 14,000 followers of the insane QAnon conspiracy theory. A conference line used by reporters and the public to listen to the remote proceeding was at capacity. A YouTube personality who managed to get access to the hearing broadcast it on his channel to more than 14,000 listeners who shared bizarre conspiracies about a global sex trafficking cabal in a live chat. They are so crazy. These QO people, oh my gosh, they are so crazy. Why on earth would they be talking about bizarre conspiracies about a global sex trafficking cabal? I'm gonna go out on a limb and I think maybe, just maybe, it's because this Ghislaine Maxwell was actually involved with a global sex trafficking cabal. Duh. She was procuring young girls for this global sex trafficking cabal? What? There's no conspiracy theory, all right? This is conspiracy fact. Holy shit. This is why the news thinks you are so stupid. Oh, by the way, speaking of Ghislaine Maxwell, when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, oh my gosh, she actually hired Maxwell's nephew. Look at this article from True Pundit. There's lots of these articles, by the way. And if you look this up, there's going to be all these naysayer stuff about how, oh no, NBC didn't report on any pedophilia. Well, bullcrap. I'll even show you the video in just a moment here. It says, Clinton, a former presidential candidate and first lady, duh, hired Maxwell's nephew, Alexander Gerasi, to work in her office at the State Department when she served as Secretary of State. Interesting. So again, it's like the Clintons and Epstein are very, very intertwined, and there's all sorts of fake news trying to show that, oh, well, because Trump knew Epstein and they had been seen at parties talking to each other and stuff, that means that he's a pedophile too, and blah, blah, blah. No, he's the reason why everybody's knowing about this kind of stuff. And so, yeah, they're really scared about people talking about this kind of stuff. And, well, this is the NBC News channel. This is what they had to say at the time. Check this out.
Over here, and we are following this breaking news out of Washington. Some serious allegations this morning facing the State Department.
That's right. According to internal State Department memos, the agency might have called off or intervened in investigation into possibly illegal and inappropriate behavior within its ranks, allegedly to protect jobs and avoid scandals. This concerns the time that Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. We want to get right to NBC's chief White House correspondent, Chuck Todd, with the latest. Chuck, good morning to you.
Good morning, Savannah. You know, there's an old saying in Washington that the cover-up is worse than the crime. But in this case, both parts of it are disturbing. Allegations of prostitution and pedophilia, and allegations that those crimes were somehow covered up or not looked into. So the State Department this morning is having to respond to those claims and those investigations of misconduct by State Department officials, including by an ambassador and security agents attached to then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And the allegations are that these investigations were whitewashed, quashed altogether, and that those orders came from high up.
NBC News has obtained documents related to ongoing investigations into some disturbing allegations involving State Department personnel and at least one ambassador. A State Department memo says the ambassador, quote, routinely ditched his protective security detail in order to solicit sexual favors from both prostitutes and minor children. The memo also says a top State Department official directed department investigators to, quote, cease the investigation into the ambassador's conduct. It's just one of what another document describes as, quote, several examples of undue influence from top state officials. On Monday, a State Department spokesperson not confirm
oh, gee, look who this is now.
I'm not going to talk about specific cases, but I can say broadly that the notion that we would not vigorously pursue criminal misconduct in any case is preposterous.
Oh yeah, okay, why don't you just tell him that you'll circle back to him, right? This is it. Check this out. This is... Are you at all shocked that the woman who was the mouthpiece for the State Department covering up pedophilia is now the mouthpiece for Joe Biden? I am not. And this is exactly why the news hates Q. They call it a cult. Nobody... It's not a cult. There's nothing. This is like the only cult, if it's a cult, it really sucks at being a cult. The very first cult in the history of anything that actually encourages you to think for yourself and to think logically, and to not rely on just what's told to you, but you have to think critically. That is not what a cult is. Ridiculous. Okay? And it's funny because once Joe Biden was elected, or I'm sorry, when he was inaugurated, all of these naysayers popped out and said, aha, you see, this proves that Q is wrong. Q, oh my gosh, it's all stupid and et cetera, et cetera. Well, it's funny actually, because Q actually talked about Biden becoming POTUS, the president. Look, this was like back in October 7th. What happens if Biden becomes POTUS, knowing he, through Hunter, plus one other person, took massive amounts of bribes to change U.S. policy towards Ukraine? Would Ukraine own and control the White House? What happens if Biden became POTUS, knowing he, through Hunter plus two people, took massive amounts of bribes to change U.S. policy towards China in favor of China? Would China own and control the White House? This is what is the essence of Q, basically. Just asking questions. Now, you can make theories on these questions, and I notice a lot of people, they get kind of overly focused on dates and using the dates that things are posted as trying to, mean that there's going to be like a certain, like a couple of years later, something's going to happen on that exact same date, and if it doesn't happen, then people are saying, see, this is Q, a bunch of nonsense. But it's not what Q said. It was what people made it out to be. And there's always, the media. Of course, if they want to make fun of Q people, they'll, go to like a Trump rally and they find some old grandma, and she's wearing a Q sweatshirt or something or other, and they ask her questions, and most likely all she knows is just what's been posted on Facebook or something or other. Do you just look at some sweet old lady, and do you really think she's gonna, like, when she gets home, she's gonna, like, log on to 8kun, and then she's gonna be all like hold the line, faggots, we got this, yeah, I've got the meme cannons at the ready, meme cannons fired, I stayed up late to make some spicy Pepe the Frog memes, and these liberals, when they see it, they're gonna go ree, oh, I can't wait. No, that's not how it works here. So, there is also this story that's been going around about some sort of psyop that was in Russia that the communists used to track down loyalists, and to make them think that they were going to affect change and protect Russia from the communists, but it turns out it was a trap. That was built off of some couple of books or something or other, and some Wikipedia articles that were really not really substantiated, and that story's been going around trying to disprove Q. Q never said that Biden would never become president, and in fact, Q was actually preparing people for the fact that Biden would become president. Even Trump himself said many times that they're going to steal the election, and they're going to steal it in a major way. So, and of course there was this this stupid guy with the horns who showed up in Washington D.C. and they were saying, "Oh, this guy's a Q shaman, and he's a leader in the QAnon movement." Blah blah blah. Well, the guy is a total phony. And I posted about this, and the guy has been on Black Lives Matter events. There has been pictures of him with Nancy Pelosi, even. But there's also pictures of him with Rudy Giuliani. But then there's like pictures of him with like Austin Steinbart. And if anybody, if you know about Q, you might know about this guy, Austin Steinbart. This twerp who claimed to be Q, and he turned out to be a total phony. Because of course, anybody who's really intelligent will know that the guy's he's full of crap. Anyhow, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. What I'm going to do now, though, is okay. I've mentioned about Q in other channels, or in other these channel updates before. I've never really given a proper history to this sort of thing, okay? Now, there is this idea that this is some sort of mysterious, strange thing, right? And called Q, and it is totally just bizarre. And that's what they want you to believe. But really, I'm not even paying attention to this talk about Trump running for president again in 2024. If we back off from this fraudulent election this time, there will never be any reasonable election ever again. Now, I think Joe Biden and basically his puppet handlers will make sure that there will never be an honest election again if we let him get away with this. And I've seen like the normie MAGA people, they're all like, "Oh, what are we gonna do, man? Game over, man. We're doomed." But yet, for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is getting more and more interesting, right? Like, this is the reason why I haven't been doing a lot of modeling, is because I'm just like totally glued to the news and what's going on. But really, like, there's so much news I don't even really pay attention to anymore. This whole notion, and this is Alex Jones was saying this, that accusing Q of lulling people into inactivity. Well, I call bullcrap on that. We're the only ones who are not giving up hope, whereas all the normie people are just like floundering. So, okay, I'm going to take the time out now to explain Q. So, I know a few of you follow Q, but a lot of you don't. So, alright, normies. Do you believe that the corporate media is telling the truth when they tell you that Trump is a racist? No. Do you believe the corporate media when they say that the Proud Boys is a white supremacist group, even though the leader is like half like Jamaican, half Cuban or something or other? No. Well, then why do you believe the corporate media when they tell you that Cube is just an insane conspiracy theory? Okay, let me help set things straight. There is nothing mystical about Q level clearance. Now, look at this military wiki article here. Okay, Q clearance is the highest non-military clearance with access to top secret restricted data. We're not talking about something mysterious or dubious, like Men in Black here. Charlton Heston had Q clearance, and we know who he is, or was, because he passed away. This is not the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot. Q people are non-military civilians with access to top secret stuff. Now, the media wants you to believe that these highly intelligent people are completely incapable of posting messages on 4chan. The notion that neither these people nor Trump are capable of using 4chan and now 8kun is probably the stupidest theory of all. But the same people who have tried to convince you that Pissgate is real are the same ones pushing the idea that Q is fake. Let that sink in. Okay? Once upon a time, CNN had actually reported on Q as being part of the NSA.
A Security and Counterintelligence Directorate, also known as the Q Group, is the agency's internal police force.
They're basically the cops or the police of the NSA. Their main job is to make sure that, their many analysts and officers and program managers are not targeted by foreign intelligence services.
Eli Lake of the Daily Beast broke the news that the Q Group has been hunting Snowden for weeks.
The NSA Q Group is trying to find out everything they can about Mr. Snowden, about his online habits, his travel habits, the people he knows.
And the Q Group is trying to suss out any connections Snowden may have to foreign governments.
We know from some of the stories in the Washington Post and the Guardian that Mr. Snowden was well aware of encryption keys and technology that he can use to try to cloak his movements in cyberspace. So right now it is, I would imagine, a bit of a cat and mouse game in terms of the people who are hunting him and the hunted whistleblower.
All right, so basically, people criticize Trump for doing things that is completely unprecedented and doing stuff that no president has ever done before. These same people also say that there's no way Q could be real because no president has ever done that before, and it would be completely unprecedented for the president to have a team of people communicating directly with people on an anonymous message board. So you can't have it both ways. Now, speaking of Trump and anonymous message boards, so you don't think that there was any evidence that Trump had ever used 4chan before he became president? Really? Well, look here. During the presidential bid in July, this is July 30th, 2016, Patriotic Pepe was retweeted by Trump, right? And this is a screenshot from 4chan, and somebody says, "It is happening, bros. I repeat, it is happening." And Patriotic Pepe had been retweeted by Trump, and it was like 3 in the morning, right? And you see here somebody responded, "It's 3 o'clock. What the fuck is he doing up?" This is before he became infamous for late night tweets. Trump then replied and said, "I tweeted this to show I listen. This is the only post I will make." Okay? So the response to that was, Mr. Trump, if you actually do lurk here and you like this meme, please use the word amazing somehow in your next tweet. This will be a wink and a nod that you appreciate all of us here. Thank you. So the very next tweet, Trump put, "Colorado was amazing yesterday. So much support." He used the word amazing just as he was asked to do. And this was the tweet here. Patriotic Pepe. "Only Trump can unite America and fix Obama's mistakes." There you have it right there. All right. Now, Ted Cruz has also used 4chan. And this was a screenshot of his spat with Seth Rogen, basically calling him an MFer and all that sort of stuff. And Ted Cruz said, "Charming, civil, educated response, Seth Rogen. If you're a rich, angry Hollywood celebrity, today's Dems are the party for you. If you're blue collar, If you're a union member, if you work in energy or manufacturing, not so much. And check it out. Ted Cruz forgot to sign out of Twitter when he made this this screenshot. And it says, this is hilarious. This is not the behavior of someone who has the upper hand or who knows he is winning. It's the words and actions and behavior of a loser. Go into Twitter and suggest he turn to the one true God and amend his life. This clown can't even talk without sputtering out vulgarities, irrational insults, and attacks on women. Hollywood and big media knows that it's all over and that nothing can stop what is coming. LOL. Now that's a cue phrase right there. Nothing can stop what is coming. It has been repeated many, many times, including Dan Scavino and Trump himself. This is not rocket science. Okay, if you hear something that's been repeated over and over and over again, it's not a coincidence at all. So, yeah, well, good for Ted Cruz. Well, it goes deeper than that. Now, it wasn't until October of 2017 when Q started posting on 4chan. And again, there's no reason to suspect that anybody with Q clearance is completely incapable of posting onto 4chan. I don't know why people think this way, but yet they think I'm crazy. This is totally stupid. Again, think for yourself. Think logically. Occam's razor. All right? Check this out. So, in 2018, January 2018, you know, Q had been around for a couple of months at that time, a few months, and somebody had, again, put something out, and they were hoping in the State of the Union address that they asked Trump if he could say the word tip-top. Okay? Now, this didn't actually make it until, like, the Easter thing, but in April... so it had been, the final request had been tippy-top shape, okay? And that was what they had asked Trump, to be like really specific. And again, this wasn't in the State of the Union address, but it did happen. And when it did happen, Q posted, "It was requested. Did you listen today?" Now, what actually did Trump say?
Also, I want to thank the White House Historical Association and all of the people that work so hard with Melania, with everybody, to keep this incredible house or building or whatever you want to call it, because there really is no name for it. It is special. And we keep it in tip-top shape. We call it sometimes tippy-top shape. And it's a great, great place.
So this is just the beginning. From completely unique photographs taken aboard Air Force One and Marine One to photos of a mysterious missile launch on Whidbey Island, to street photos of London and Hong Kong, to transcripts of Peter Strzok's closed-door deposition while it was in progress before information was released to the media. There is just so much to cover that I would never be able to finish making this video. It would just take too long, and there are actual videos that are like extremely long, like over hours long. Actually, I watched one, and it's just, that's just part one of all of the, you know, it's just mathematically impossible to just discount everything as just coincidence. One of the early things that really kind of freaked me out, this was like January 28th. This is a message, you know, about directed at Snowden, right? So of course this is the whistleblower, John Perry Barlow. Nobody is safe. And I didn't even know who John Perry Barlow was. And this is January 27th of 2018. And just over a week later, John Perry Barlow died. And follow-up, you know, John Perry Barlow, the Q post was January 27th, and he died February 8th. This is not a game. I didn't even know who this person was, but yeah, Q mentions the guy, and then the guy ends up dead. So they're yeah, just this is really like far more exciting than like a Tom Clancy novel or something. Just the scope of it all, and it really depends on following a lot of the researchers, and some of them are better than others. Some of them are kind of, if they're really full of crap, like that Viking guy, and apparently he's going to turn on Trump, apparently, compared to what, or according to what I've read. But yeah, it's really exciting. So if you're late to the game, start catching up. But yeah, this stuff is real. So on the night of the inauguration, well, it was nighttime for me. It was getting close to 3 o'clock in the morning. I was waiting for the Biden inauguration to happen, and I had stayed up until about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay up. And a part of me wanted to see, like, as soon as he got sworn in, that the handcuffs would be thrown on him, and he'd be like, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling autists, and you and your Pepe the Frog, and it would kind of been like an episode of Scooby-Doo or something, right? But it was after 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stay up for this, especially when I found out that Lady Gagme, the high minstrel priestess of the Illuminati, was going to be singing at the inauguration. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to stay up and wait and see this. And so I had a bag of popcorn ready to go and everything, but I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm not gonna miss anything. Nothing's gonna happen. Would have been way too convenient if they would have. You saw like that huge. It was like a freaking telephone book or something or other, that Bible that he was sworn on. And even the Japanese news, that were like, well, Biden's, his Bible is much bigger than Trump's Bible, what he was sworn on. I'm like, this is Japan. Why do they care what size of the Bible it is? It's ridiculous. They just repeat crap like that all the time. It's so stupid. It just goes to show that the Japanese news media is controlled by the same Western people who control the media, and especially like the United States and such. So yeah, so I thought to myself, do I really want to stay up to see this bumbling pedocrat fumble his way through his acceptance speech? No, I didn't want to bother. So I figured that nothing's going to happen, and that was going to be it. So I went to bed that night, and in the morning, I found out that, yeah, he had been inaugurated. Now, does this prove that that Trump failed everybody? No. Does it prove that that Q had failed everybody? None whatsoever. They were saying, oh, well, nothing's happening. Well, on the 19th, lots of stuff did happen. Okay, there was the declassification of documents related to Spygate, and the Pissgate dossier, right, which confirmed that John McCain is the one responsible for getting that out to the media. Obama Gate had been declassified on that day as well. So far we haven't seen anything, but it's there, and it can be used for this whole impeachment thing. There was the unsealing of documents in the Ghislaine Maxwell case that I mentioned. Gina Haspel stepped down as CIA director. Interesting. Chris Miller, he installed a real patriot to the NSA's top lawyer position. Interesting. The Washington Post admitted that Trump did not incite violence on January 6th after all. Acting Secretary of Defense orders the NSA chief to install a Trump loyalist as agency's general counsel. The 10th Mountain 1st Marine deployed in D.C. under the guise of citizen riot control. Really interesting stuff that's going on. So the Q had put out these red lines here. Now, what these do is, like, when these red lines are crossed, it gets you one step further to action. And if you look at here, it says POTUS Twitter removal. That happened. All right, now this is back in June 4th, 2020, okay? Central Communications blackout, it has not yet happened. A class movement, Pelosi or Pence. Well, we're not sure about this one yet. Movement of military assets, 10th Mountain 1st Marine to central locations under the guise of citizen riot control. That happened. I just mentioned that. Red 5, National Military Command Central. I don't totally know about that one. That's kind of up in the air, I guess. And then Secretary of Defense instructions. Now that was Red 6. Right, that was the Secretary of Defense orders of the NSA for the General Counsel I just mentioned. So there are things that are happening that Q had talked about. We do know that Biden did not fly to Washington, D.C. on Air Force One. He was denied that. First ever that I know of. This is really weird. The tradition is the new president would be flown to Washington, D.C. via Air Force One. That did not happen. There's a lot of talk of, like, maybe the military is still under the control of Trump for like 60 days after the inauguration. I don't know. All I'm saying is that there's something weird afoot, and this is just too interesting to me, and I stand by what I have said, that Biden is not going to be around for very much longer. Again, I was kind of expecting him to, like, be blocked from becoming president, but now that he is president, you know, because if he didn't become president, you can't say that he stole the election, right? You have to let him steal the election, present the evidence, and then nail him for it. The whole thing is completely illegitimate, so time will tell. But I don't think this is even going to last more than a few months. I don't know. Don't hold me to that, but that's just personally what I think is what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to end the video here. I don't know what else I can talk about, but things are just getting more and more interesting. So yeah, really wild stuff. So hang in there. The PCR tests, the number of cycles are being reduced from like 40 down to 30 or something like that. It was never meant to be a method of diagnosis. That Kerry Mullis is the man who had invented the PCR, and he said it was never meant for medical diagnosis to see if somebody's ill or not. It's only meant for just studying DNA. And you know, he got a Nobel Science Award for the PCR, but now he passed away, unfortunately, in 2019, I guess, of pneumonia. But yeah, the guy himself said that Dr. Fauci is a fraud, and he had challenged him to the debate stage. There's an interesting video by Thought Crime 7. I don't know if perhaps it's been censored already, but it was showing an interview with Kerry Mullis and what he was talking about the PCR test and Dr. Fauci. Really interesting stuff. Look into it. You know, people might think I'm crazy, but I really couldn't care less. There's a whole lot of world of information out there, and if you stop to think that, you know, at least as far as the United States go, there is like 6 companies, 6 mega corporations that really fund everything. that basically control the media. Funding comes from maybe 3 major groups. I think BlackRock is one. I forget the other 2 of them. But the information you get through the corporate media is extremely curated and controlled. But there's so much more out there. You just need to look and keep an open mind, and don't get caught up in fake news, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. Alright, so anyhow, that's it for this video. It's probably about 2 hours by now, I guess. So anyhow, catch you guys later. Bye.